So here's an example of the quotient rule. We have 1 plus x squared divided by 1 minus x prime. So we do have a quotient, and we can identify our f and g. F and g. Our f of x is 1 plus x squared. Our g of x is 1 minus x. So I'll write it out step by step. We're taking the derivative, so it is the low or bottom or denominator times the derivative of the numerator, and I'll just write that as 1 plus x squared prime. Okay, so that's low d high minus high, right? The high is the numerator, 1 plus x squared, d low, so I'm going to write 1 minus x prime, all over low squared, 1 minus x squared. Now some of you asked, should we FOIL the 1 minus x squared, so should we FOIL this denominator out? And the answer is no, because usually we like these answers in factored form. It's very rare that you would FOIL it out. And also just think about if you leave it in this form, it's much easier to evaluate this expression than it is a FOILed expression. Okay, so figuring out the top, we have 1 minus x. Then we have to do this, right? We have to take the derivative of 1 plus x squared, which is 2x. That's just using the power rule. Then we are subtracting 1 plus x squared, and I move pretty freely from brackets to parentheses. I hope there's not too much confusion there. Now we have to take the derivative of 1 minus x, that is negative 1, all over 1, and let me put that in blue, 1 minus x squared. So what is that? Let's distribute this 2x over both terms. You see the algebra here, right? The possibilities for making an algebra 1 mistake are huge, so we have to be very careful. Now this is minus 1 plus x squared times a negative 1. So if I remember order of operations, multiplication comes before its parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction. So if I just reordered terms here, hopefully this is not too crazy. This is minus a negative 1 times 1 plus x squared, all over 1 minus x squared. So we have, okay, so left to right, 2x minus 2x squared. We have minus a negative 1, that's plus 1, times 1 plus x squared, all over 1 minus x squared. Stay with me, we're almost there. Now let's simplify the top a little more. 2x minus 2x squared plus 1 plus x squared, right? So all I did here, all I did in this step was distribute that plus 1, right? Okay, and that's all over 1 minus x squared, and that's equal to, we can combine some like terms. We have negative 2x squared plus x squared. That leaves us negative x squared, or minus 1x squared. We have a 2x plus 2x. We have a plus 1, all over 1 minus x squared. This is perfectly fine, although we don't always love to have this negative in front here. So we could factor that negative 1 out and just say this is equal to negative x squared minus 2x minus 1 over 1 minus x squared, and either of these two answers are perfectly acceptable. This one or this one. Okay, that is the quotient rule applied to this, and notice all the times for these algebraic simplifications to go awry. Good luck.